Hey guys, just wanted to pop on really quickly and tell you about a new product from Perfect Keto. So they now are making strawberry flavored MCT oil powder. My favorite collagen is their strawberry flavor, so if you enjoy that, then you will more than likely enjoy this product. So if you don't know what MCT oil is, it's medium chain triglycerides, which break down into ketones for sustained energy. This particular one has 30 servings. And it just has a scoop inside, and you can add it to coffee or any of your hot or cold beverages. I like mine in my coffee, but it would be great in smoothies and shakes as well. Perfect for summertime. Our discount code will be linked below, so definitely check it out and save some money.
What's up, CJ's Keto Kitchen family? This is CJ.
And Sarah.
It's a Wednesday. Yes, it's a Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Keto
Conversations.
So let's get started. All right, so we're back with another keto conversation. We hope that your week is going good, and today we want to talk about fasting.
Yes, we're having a fasting mukbang.
Yes, so we're doing maybe the first ever YouTube fasting mukbang.
We're going to drink our club soda. Some ASMR here. Yes.
All right, hear that sizzle.
So we're going to talk about the lack of food while having a lack of food. Yeah, that works.
That sounded weird.
I know, I am weird.
A lack of food while having lack of food?
Yeah.
Okay. T-shirt. Sounds good. All right, so we're talking about fasting. First of all, some people have asked for this video because we've mentioned it in passing in a couple of other videos. This isn't the first time we talked about fasting. We've got other fasting videos, and but again, recently we've mentioned it in our what we eat videos. We've got a couple of those, so check those out. And people had some interest, and so we thought we would do it. This Keto Conversation segment, you get a potpourri of content. You get, food unboxings, grocery hauls. But we actually do, in the old days, we would sit down every week and talk about keto topics, keto lifestyle topics. So we're going to get back to the basics and do that. And so Sarah, I'm going to call her our fasting expert between the two of us. And expert's a loose word because she will say that she's not an expert. But between the two of us, as far as just knowledge and experience, you've got the most experience. So do you want to talk about why you fast and what your goals are fasting?
Sure. So if I look down, sometimes it's because I have been keeping notes on my iPhone as I've been doing this particular round of fasting. I've actually been fasting for 4 years. I've been ketogenic for 5 years at the end of next month. But I have been fasting in different forms for 4 years now. But this particular way that I have begun fasting, I actually started about the first part of May. And that is more of your alternate day fasting or not intermittent fasting. I wouldn't call it intermittent fasting because it's not OMAD, it's not 1 meal a day, it's not 24 hours. It's usually longer fasts than that.
So how long are you going? Just in general?
Most of the time it's between 36 and 42 hours, and it's every other day. I have been doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and taking the weekends off. That's how I have been doing it.
So you're eating on the weekends?
That's correct, okay. Yes.
Are you eating all day on the weekends?
No, not generally. I still prefer to eat in about a 6-hour window or so on the weekends. So, yeah.
So why is that method why'd you go that route this time?
I wanted to try a little bit more of an extended fasting style. I had done several day fasts years ago, but for the last few years I've only been practicing 18-6. Sometimes it was OMAD, sometimes it was 20 hours fasted and then 4 hours of eating. Various styles of a feeding window, or intermittent fasting is what that's generally called. Usually anything past 24 hours is considered more extended fasting, according to fasting experts.
So just in case you're new to fasting and new to the topic, OMAD is one meal
One
a
meal
day.
a day. Mm-hmm.
Intermittent fasting
Is usually 16 hours.
Well, yeah, there's different ones. So like today, so I've actually started fasting as well, but I'm a novice faster. So today I did a 18. What'll be 18? 6. It'll be 18:6. So I went 18 hours without eating, and I'll have a 6-hour window of feeding.
Right.
And then last week it was a 16:8. So 16 hours of fasting, and then an 8-hour window of eating. So, and those are probably some of the most popular forms, especially for people, maybe beginners fasting. So anyway, so you're doing more alternate day fasting.
Yes, and I guess it's closer to extended fasting, because a lot of times alternate day fasting means that you're doing it every other day, and I'm not really doing that, because I'm not doing it every other day. I'm doing it multiple days of the week, so it's more an extended fasting style, I guess is what I should appropriately call it. But I do personally enjoy this style of fasting much more than I have ever enjoyed intermittent fasting. I personally find intermittent fasting difficult. For some reason, waiting within a specific day, during the day, for a time to eat, I find that I focus a lot more on food than when I wake up and I realize I'm just not eating this day. I just feel so much better. I don't know why. It sounds odd. It might not work for other people, but for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm not eating today, so get over it. Have another glass of water. Have another cup of coffee. Whatever the case may be, I've just straight off the top told myself, it's not happening today. And then my hunger goes away. I just find it easier. So that's for me personally. So,
yeah, that's kind of interesting, because I do find myself looking at the clock more. I found out today was a little different, because I was trying to do 18 hours versus 16 hours, and it did feel a little bit easier. I'm not really sure why. Probably I was busy. That's one of the things I guess I've learned over the years is really helpful to keep yourself busy. I find if I can stay busy and not think about food, then I can do it a lot easier. So, but why are you fasting?
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons for me personally. I am looking for food peace, making peace with food, because, I'm in my late 40s, and of course I've had a troubled relationship with food over the years, calorie restriction, things like that. Also, I'm trying to increase metabolic flexibility. I want to be able to occasionally have something that I would like that's not ketogenic, or go on vacation or have a birthday or something like that, but be able to go right back to ketosis and some of those other thoughts. And so by fasting, that can sometimes help you increase your metabolic flexibility.
Yeah. Now, and I will say, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
We've been doing keto for what, almost 5 years.
5 for me and almost 5 for you.
Almost 5 for me, 5 for you. And your body will always, what is it called? Homeostasis? Homeostasis, where your body will get used to and adjust to whatever type of eating you're doing. And that is something that is common even for keto.
Any style of eating.
Any style of keto.
Anything.
Right, I'm sorry, any style of eating. So, not just keto, for any style of eating. And so, if you were to look across YouTube at some of the big, keto players, look at Thomas DeLauer, look at some other folks, you'll see that they have videos sporadically talk about cycling. Yes. Right, you see videos where they talk about cycling, and that's part of it, is dealing with the homeostasis issue.
Yes, and I agree that you definitely, no matter what you practice, you are going to have to at some point deal with variations, and that includes fasting. So you think probably that you could maybe eat 1 meal a day and do that for a year and lose a significant amount of weight, and there are a lot of people who have done that and are doing that currently right now. But sometimes you will find, especially for women, that you will hit a plateau, because your body now has
Adjusted.
Adjusted. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We are going to be taking in 1 meal a day, and so that's how much we are going to burn, and you're done. So even Dr. Fung has stressed many times, you have to practice variation. So that is what I'm trying to live, and that is why I choose not to eat in as restricted a fasting pattern on the weekends, and to mix it up. So the second reason, before we get off this subject, that I am trying to practice this lifestyle a little bit more deliberately than I have in the past is simply because I'm trying to protect my future genetics. My father has prostate cancer, and he had surgery just 2 weeks ago. And my mother had cancer before the age of 60. Both of my parents are in their 60s, and both of them have had stage 3, stage 4 cancer. I used to think that I had marvelous genetics. I have known all my great-grandparents, some of my great-great-grandparents, as an adult. So I thought, oh, hey, we've got long-lived relatives, I'm doing great, this is fine. Well, everyday living in the United States has now changed our genetic blueprint. And so for me personally, I am practicing this to ensure, hopefully, a little bit of better health for me in the next 20 to 30 years.
Well, what do you mean by that, everyday living? And what does that mean?
Just some of the choices that we have made nutritionally has now affected our genetic blueprint.
Okay.
And so you don't always just have the benefit of your genetics anymore to help protect you from disease.
Some of just environmentally what we've been exposed to.
And things you do to yourself.
And things that we've eaten over the years can change, have affected our genetics.
Exactly.
And maybe negatively. So, let's see. So we don't want to make this a super long video, so I'm going to get right at some of the notes that I have. Go ahead.
The other thing that I wanted to stress before I hand it over to you is that the other thing that you really need to be aware of is to not be restricting on your non-fasting days or on your non-fasting meals. Eat lots of wonderful ketogenic foods, eat to satisfaction, because one of the flip side, there's always a yin and yang to everything in life. And that for fasting is feasting. So definitely, please try not to practice calorie restriction and fasting. You're just looking to hurt yourself massively. Please do all of your own research. Don't take everything that we say for granted or as medical gospel. Talk to your doctor, talk to fasting experts, go to the people who do this for a living, but please do not try and fast and also calorie restrict. When it's time to eat. Eat good keto food. Eat plenty of fat and calories and protein.
And that's something that I guess I've struggled with over the years when I've tried to fast, is not so much the calorie restriction part of it, but how do I know how much to eat? Because it used to feel like, okay, the clock hits whatever the magic number is for that day, and bam, I just start eating. I try to cram in everything that I didn't get in that window when I wasn't eating in there. And I don't know if that's right, but you did say some other things there that it's important. It is important for you, if you're going to go down the fasting road, to do some research of your own and find people to listen to that you feel comfortable with. I'll just say this. Sometimes I do get a little frustrated with fasting. Sometimes I get a little frustrated with keto, because there is a lot of information, and there can be a lot of people telling you a lot of different things. And the things that I guess I've figured out over the years is that, first of all, you're not going to know everything yourself. And you have to take everything you learn with a grain of salt. And sometimes you're going to have to practice it, try it, and then if it feels like it's not right, then you do something else.
And definitely take a grain of salt. Definitely watch your electrolytes.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, we'll talk about that. So if people were thinking about starting fasting and adding that to their ketogenic lifestyle, and first of all, I guess we want to say this as well. We're not saying that you have to fast to have success on keto.
Nope.
That is not what we're saying. We're just saying that it is another tool to use in your health journey, not just your weight loss journey, but your health journey. That fasting can be another tool that you have available to you. But we're not saying to have success on keto that you have to do fasting, because sometimes people who are new to keto, they get that impression,
Right.
and that is not what we're saying. When we first started keto, we were not fasting.
I went a year before I started fasting.
Okay.
However, I do feel for myself personally that it has been very helpful for me personally in my success with my weight loss.
Okay.
Is incorporating the two. But like CJ said, there are some people who've never fasted and they do totally fine.
And they do fine on
So
keto. And
it all depends. And you have to find the right type of fasting for yourself, just like I've talked about. I'm enjoying this experience more than I did with intermittent fasting. So definitely.
all right, so do you have any tips for people who are thinking about fasting?
Okay, so my tips for sure would be to stay well hydrated with plenty of electrolytes. I do lots of club soda. Usually I don't do the flavored ones, but everyone is different in what they consider, what they can have during their fasting.
Well, but when you say flavored, they're not sweetened.
No, they're not sweetened, but all of your die-hard fasting experts will tell you unflavored club soda. That's why I love Topo Chico. It's my favorite. I make mine with my soda stream. There are some people who aren't bothered by that. Some people even drink energy drinks and other things. They call it dirty fasting. Once again, that's not how I do it. But if you do it and you're having success, that's great. For me personally, I do clear, unflavored, club soda and regular water and black coffee. Yes, black coffee. I don't like it. I will never like it, but I drink it because that's what works for me personally. That's
right.
what's been successful for
So
me.
tips, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. So, black coffee, club soda. Sometimes you can get full fast when you start eating again. Don't hurt yourself, but try and get, like I said before, try and get rich, nutrient-dense foods when you do eat. And you're going to have greater success if when you break your fasts and you eat your meals that you eat ketogenically. Yes, there are people who are successful just practicing intermittent fasting or extended fasting and not eating ketogenically.
Yeah,
there are lots of people who don't.
There's people who fast and don't eat
and
keto.
then just go and eat a cheeseburger. And yes, sometimes
with a bun.
And sometimes they still lose weight, and sometimes they're extremely healthy. If that's what you choose to do, that of course is your decision. But I do personally find that when I do eat, I eat ketogenically and I feel much better, and it is a lot more successful for my body's healing because keto is like 70% of the way fasting because you are already keeping your insulin low. So definitely. So those are a few of my tips. Some things that happen to me when I fast, I get cold. I get cold really easily. There are certain things that might happen to you when you fast, especially starting out.
I get irritable.
Yeah.
More than usual.
Hangry is a real thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
More than usual.
So sometimes you can get tired.
Yeah, I get tired.
So
I do.
There are some side effects, especially when you first start. Usually those will go away eventually. But yeah, so there can be some, and you're thinking what's wrong, but definitely make sure you're getting your electrolytes. They make, there's electrolyte pills if you want to take something, even just salt in water. Some people drink salt in their coffee, salt in water. So make sure that you're definitely getting enough fluids.
And there's people who make that, soul water?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah,
there are lots of products.
There's recipes on YouTube about making that, and we've never made any.
Right.
In fact, maybe we should find a video and make some.
Right, and there are electrolyte powders and things like that, but a lot of them have some, low carb sweeteners in them. But sometimes if you take any, even your ketogenically safe sweeteners during your fasting window, sometimes it can still raise your insulin and make you feel yucky and make your fasting not as successful.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I get a little irritated about.
That makes you irritable?
Well, I get irritable now because I'm fasting, but I get a little irritable too because sometimes you read things that say, well, stevia doesn't break a fast, but then some people say stevia does break a fast. But one of the things I do know is that sometimes a lot of that, I believe, it actually depends on the person. and how sensitive you are just to sweetener in general. Because if it affects your blood glucose level, stevia or not, then it's probably making your fasting less successful.
And if you are diabetic or you have like a continuous blood glucose monitor or those kind of things, you can find out absolutely if they're affecting you, because you can do self-tests and then you'll know for sure if I have this electrolyte powder with stevia in it, and then you test your blood sugar and it does, then you'll know for sure that's not something I can have while I'm fasting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, but if people were just starting, do you have any suggestions which type of fasting they might want to try?
That is a very good question, and it was the same suggestion that I gave to CJ when he started this a couple of weeks ago. Again, is start slow. So start with a 16-8, then move to the 18-6, then do 24 if you want, and then try some extended fasting or several day fasts. Walk before you run, definitely. Start out going 12 hours. Like, eating your dinner, not eating again until the morning. Don't eat at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So start at like 12 hours, then go 14 hours. Take baby steps. Whatever it takes for you to slow, and do it for a little while. Do it for a week or 10 days, and then move to the next step. Yeah. Just pace yourself. Put on your training wheels, your fasting training wheels. So don't just, I'm going to do a 10-day water fast. I mean, you can if you want to, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. I think we can put some good resources in the video description.
Yep.
You do a lot of studying and actually watching folks.
Yep. I recommend the fasting method, which is Dr. Fung's website and his program.
Right. Well, you're talking about, but you're just talking about his
resources.
His resources,
yeah,
right.
The fasting method is what they call their online program.
But we're not necessarily saying that you have to join the fasting method.
No, but he's putting out videos on YouTube now weekly. So if you're interested, and it's nice because a lot of them have like success stories at the end and things like that. But he is one of the most famous authorities of modern fasting.
Yeah. And so we can put some links to some of the Dr. Fung's fasting videos, and you can check him out. I actually have thought about joining the fasting method coaching program.
Sometimes it can be helpful to have someone that you're not related to helping you. Especially because, for CJ and I, it's different because he's a man and I'm a woman. And a lot of things will be different between the sexes as far as fasting goes. So sometimes it is helpful to have an authority. Yeah,
so that's something I've been kind of kicking around in my head, maybe to join them and just see how it goes, get some coaching. One of the things I struggle with fasting is not just hunger, because some days I'm hungrier than others, but just being bored. Sometimes I'm just bored from not eating, but that could just be being bored, period. It's not just because I'm not eating. So that may be another route to that boredom just in general, but maybe eating was the way I stopped being bored before. So anyway, so sometimes, and you know yourself, you have to figure out how to do this for yourself. But I have thought about joining a coaching program, fasting method. There's other programs out there. We use a couple of apps on our phone as far as to track fasting, but it doesn't have to be all that complicated either. I mean, you figure out which plan you're going to try to work with. Like Sarah says, start with training wheels. Definitely. And don't hurt yourself. And you know what? If you need to eat, eat.
Yes.
It's not gonna. You
can fast tomorrow. You will be okay. Definitely. Definitely take it slow.
Yeah. If you need to eat and you're just struggling, just eat.
Like I said, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I know over the weekend, well, even yesterday, the day before, I ate later into the night, and we were going somewhere yesterday. We're doing a family thing, and it was just like, okay, I need to get.
Not today. Yeah.
I need to get my wits together. I can't be irritable and just upset all the time.
With a van full of kids.
It's not
a good idea.
So I better eat something.
Yeah.
So you know what? Sometimes it's just for the greater good for your family if you eat. And just because you always have, you know, tomorrow's another day and you can start again. So anyway, that's just a little bit about fasting. We didn't want to make this, you know, super long, but if you've got some experience with fasting, you've got some tips that you've learned over the years, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. And we hope that at the end of this video we'll put some more of our videos from before about fasting, because we've talked about fasting over the years.
Yep.
And we don't say the same thing every time we do a video.
No.
So there may be some nuggets in those other videos. So just stay tuned for that. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'd love to have you as part of our keto family. All right, so thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.